Last 5 seconds. Ready, start. Sir, I am grateful to the honorable member who have made their contribution while discussing the performance of the Ministry of Commerce. Sir, this house has its own limitations, particularly in regard to the discussion of a subject with reference to the demands for grants, but we have been able to have a discussion on this particular ministry after quite a few years, and the advantage is that when the demand was discussed in the other house after that, the import export policy for the year 1998-99 was announced. The honorable members had the opportunity also to keep that policy at the back of their minds while making their observations on the functioning of the ministry. Sir, it is known to the honorable members, so far as our international trade is concerned, the year which we just passed was really a difficult year. Naturally, the members have expressed their concern over the widening trade gap, the growth in imports being in the neighborhood of more than 20%, and the growth in exports much less than that. In absolute terms, it is not yet possible to indicate the firm figures, but the trade gap worked out to be anywhere between rupees 4,500 crores and rupees 4,800 crores. The reason is also known to the honorable members. So far as petrol and petroleum products are concerned, the full impact of the price hike was felt this year. Nearly two-thirds of total export earnings are being spent on importing petroleum and petroleum products alone. There too, the scope of maneuverability is extremely limited. As the honorable members are aware, the total import of petrol and petroleum product is almost inelastic for the last few years. In absolute terms, we are keeping the quantum almost at the same level, though we are paying much more, and that too, according to my assessment, is also a reducible minimum because we want to maintain our agricultural program. We have to energize our pump sets, and diesel is a must. It is necessary to maintain the national transport service at the same time to provide kerosene oil to the large number of villages. Import of fertilizers is absolutely a must if we want to maintain our agricultural program. Therefore, the scope of extremely limited to reduce the import of petrol and petroleum products during the current financial year, and in that context the strategy which has been worked out is to have a vigorous export effort, reduce our dependence on imports for the areas where we can, and thirdly we give encouragement to import substitution. So far as exports are concerned, it is known to the honorable members even up to 1995-96 we are having a reasonable growth rate in the neighborhood of 24 to 25%, particularly for the last 3 years, but we could not maintain that growth rate in the next 3 years. Again, it has started picking up in this connection. Sir, I would like to mention one particular point which has been very often quoted to show that India's performance on the export front is quite insignificant, and very often an argument is put forward that our share in the foreign trade is almost negligible. I don't deny it. From the early 50s, when our share in the international trade was roughly 2%, it has come down to almost half a percent today, but it is because of certain factors, and one of the important factor is that deliberately we took a policy of import substitution. Secondly, the share of particular country in the international trade and world trade is not so much relevant. What is more relevant is the percentage of exports, and if we look at it from that angle we will find, and if I understand the figure correctly, and I hope I have the figure with me, therefore there has been a qualitative change. We are not happy, we want much more growth. The level of growth is not satisfactory and it is not up to the necessity which we require, but at the same time we shall have which we require. But at the same time we shall have to acknowledge the fact that there has been growth, and in this connection very often it is pointed out that whatever growth is there, it is mainly because of the inflation. In value it has increased and in quantity it has not increased. I would like to quote some figures to point out that there has been an upward trend in value and there has been an upward trend in volume also. Secondly, sir, as the honorable members have pointed out, and I do share their concern, the growing protectionism in the international trade is standing in the way of expansion of exports from the developing countries, and almost at all international forums we have taken it up, and here we have been able to identify the areas and tried to impress upon the developed countries without getting any result. Sir, I was trying to say that the resolution, as my friend has referred to three aspects consequent on the various polling, the resolution seeks to condemn certain statements made by the leading members of the government, and the statements are attributed to as though encroaching upon the jurisdiction of the election commission. As the mover of the resolution put it, the independence of the election commission, that is the second aspect, and the third aspect is a suggestion flowing from the erosion, as he calls it, or the independence of the election commission, so that a particular committee could be set up to review the election laws and suggest appropriate reforms. The issue of election reforms has also been discussed at length, and many a speaker has generally spoken about the electoral reforms. While I will make my submissions with reference to the electoral reforms in general, with reference to some of the speakers who have adverted to the various aspects of the reforms, I feel it duty bound to also meet some of the points which have been raised by the honorable members here, particularly with reference to the election commission and also about certain irregularities which they have brought to the notice of this house, and they had taken place in the repoll at several places. Sir, the mover of the resolution, while highlighting the aspect of the independence of the election commission, has chosen to speak on a broader aspect and painted a picture on the wider canvas as to the erosion of all the parliamentary democratic institutions in this country. I would not like to become emotional as he did, but I would certainly advert to the aspects on which I feel that he was very much uncharitable. Sir, what was stated was that the cabinet system of the government was sought to be stifled. The institution of judiciary was sought to be tempered and cramped, and it was also said that the entire parliamentary system was sought to be totally negated by us, and in the ultimate analysis he proceeded to concentrate on the erosion of the authority of the chief election commissioner. But I never expected from the mover of the resolution, whom I had heard a little, that he would go to the extent of saying that actions that we on this side are seeking to resort only to negative parliamentary democracy. Sir, I do not know what he meant by a big phrase of stifling bias. The cabinet system of the government, well, phrases could be coined, but the realities must speak for themselves. I was trying to understand from him as to whether he was going to paraphrase his expression so that I could meet it squarely on the points that he would put forth. I must say, and I will say with a little authority that is at my command, that in no form did we try at any point of time to stifle the cabinet system of government in this country, and I am on record, sir, in this house itself, when the debate did crop up twice on the basis of a statement of one ex-chief minister and the other chief minister, that I had categorically stated that there was nothing so far as this government was concerned to think in terms of the presidential form of government, notwithstanding any my statement, a person who is a part and partial of the present government, or a person who is a spokesman of the government apparatus of the day, if the mover of the resolution would still like to do a little bit of idle flying on the basis of some of the statements of persons who do not have their own contribution in the formulation of the policies of the government of India, I cannot help it. I beg to leave the matter there. If he wants to use it, and if he has used it by way of a spice in his argument, that is a matter for him to taste it and see how much it tastes. As far as we are concerned, we did not, and I should say that as so far as our leader is concerned, at no point of time did he either encourage or speak on this issue at all. If you would like to read too much, if you would like to believe only in the propaganda, nobody can help you in the matter. You are to express yourself or repeat like a parrot whatever you would. I would not like to answer on what I have already said on this issue, sir. A very vague expression, an expression which could perhaps attract the attention of some of the intellectuals and also the newspapers, namely the tampering of the judicial independence, was also raised. I am not sure. I would have made a little inquiry, which I did not. I must frankly confess that it was merely a propagandist approach. Raise the issue and say whatever you like. Stop.